Hello everyone, welcome back to Farming Sim 25, and look at this land that we own. It is beautiful. It is tree free of trees. Yes, we did it. I never thought it would happen. We went from a big old huge awful mess to this, and today after we do some onion stuff, we'll come back and we'll make it look nicer. We're going to upgrade our house, so we're going to get rid of the tent and get into a shelter, and we'll move away from our neighbors, maybe to the corner over there. But yeah, I wanted to show that it's done, and you can see in the top right, we earned a lot of money. We might have to do something with this tree. I don't know if I like this tree. I kind of do. I think it just needs another one, so it looks a little more. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, in the top right, that is our money. That is all ours. We have no debt. We can look at finances maybe in a bit once we get onions going, because onions, I feel like, are going to take a while. So yeah, I want to get that going because it is August. It is harvest time, and we got a bit to do to harvest. But yeah, 267,000. We got a good amount of cash on hand now. Let's see. Before we keep talking about that, let's look at onion stuff. So if we go to packs, this is just the easiest way to look. Not everything's here, but almost all of it is in this menu here. We can see we have a halm cutter offer. This harvests, but drops them on the ground. This is a windrower, so we can pick them up and push them to one side. And then, of course, we need a picker-upper. So you for sure need this. We don't need the lighting. Lease, kind of expensive, but you do have to have this. This is what digs them up, cuts the top off and digs them up. The windrower, this is actually optional. You can just use this, drop them on the ground, and then pick them up, with a picker-upper. But I actually do want to windrow because picking up is so slow, and this machine's pretty cheap to lease. And you can do it at the same time as you dig them up, so it's not really going to cost us time, and it should save us a lot of time because we'll be able to double up rows instead of having singles. So we'll look at that in a bit. I did buy a weight because that hauling those trees around was getting slow, so I did buy a weight, and we also got a weight for our other Mercedes-Benz. Alright, so this is how I like to do it. So the cutter in the front, the windrower in the back. It also says the windrower cleans it, but again, unnecessary. There's actually no dirty onion and clean onion. I think it's more of a realism factor. If you really like that aspect of simulator, people who actually know what these machines are probably enjoy that more. But for me, I just want to get the onions out of the ground and into the elevator, wherever we can sell them, into the shop. Actually, we'll probably produce. We'll look at that as well. It's either this episode or next. We'll look at the onion packager. Packed onion, yeah, whatever it's called. Anyway, here's our field of onions, and we can look. If we look at the bottom right, we have 87% yield bonus. I think the only thing we didn't do was roll, but I didn't know rolling gave you 13%. I thought rolling gave you 2.5%, but maybe that's changed, or maybe I just forgot something. I don't know. Either way, if we look in the top left, we have work mode left. That is what we want. We either want left or right. What we don't want is center, because then it's not windrowing anymore. So let's get our steering assist set up. Yeah, I think 4 headlands is good. Actually, let's do the headlands ourselves, because I feel like the worker's going to mess that up, because we want to do the headlands opposite. We basically want to make sure this fence is going to get in the way. We want to make sure the headlands also get windrowed. So yeah, this will turn on. This is left, which is what we want. That will turn on. Let's lock in. And then we should... There we go. So you can see the front is... it's kind of hard to see, but in the bottom right, you can kind of see the onions are pouring out. And then this guy is getting them. Cleaning them up. Pushing them to the left. So then what we want to make sure we do, this second headland here, we want to make sure we either harvest the opposite direction. Wait, it is really late in the day. Maybe I accidentally slept till 10. I could have sworn I slept till 8, but anyway, we'll be fine. Yeah, we either want to go in the opposite direction or we want to switch the working mode to the right. Either way, we want to make sure they combine. Let's lift these. Fences are really getting in the way, but that's okay. I like the aesthetic. We're definitely going to keep them. Let's lock in. So what we'll probably do ourselves are the headlands. Again, just so we can do it correctly, and then we should be able to get just a worker to do the rest. Again, this is going to take a while. Like we'll probably finish harvesting like off camera, like always, just because it is going to be quite a time sink. And we can actually tell that if you look at the missions. So usually the price of a mission is going to be based on the time, like the projected time it's going to take, like real life time. Let me maneuver this curve a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. If we miss some onions, I'm not deeply upset about it. We'll just do our best. And we can see here these onion ones, the 21,000. I think there's another 21,000. These are, oh, you know what? To be fair, these are actually just huge fields, 1 and 5. So maybe they're not as bad as I thought. Once we get going on another straightaway, we can look at our finances, kind of our spreadsheet for the last few months, just so you can see where all this money has come from. Obviously, most of it's just wood. Like selling all that wood took a long time. I think it was definitely a good day to do it on a football Saturday, because I watched a couple football games while I did it, which is great. That's let's see, I want to pick this up. That's why I planned it that way. And we need to turn it around. We'll hit the fence. We'll lock in. Alright. So yeah, we're going to miss like a little square here and there. Oh well. We'll lose $50. And that's fine. So yeah, most of it's wood. We'll see that in the spreadsheet. And then I also just took missions as I was doing the wood. Because again, you can just kind of set a worker on it and continue working on whatever you're working on. Like right now, I could have a worker going somewhere and like just sort of let it go. It's a pretty easy way to earn some money. It's not like a great money maker, but it is easy. So we've made some money during missions. Alright, so we should be going left still. Yep, we'll just go backwards. And now we should have 2 rows sort of combined into one, and that is going to be a huge help when we get our picker-upper to pick them up. Anyway, so wood. Yeah, so missions, especially the day I was doing all the wood harvesting, because again, it was just so much time. I would just take out a couple like cultivating missions or hoeing, weeding, anything that's like doesn't really require me. So like harvesting's tough because, not tough, but harvesting like requires human intervention to go like unload the harvester once in a while, stuff like that. So mostly cultivating, weeding, hoeing, some fertilizing, just because we already had some bought. And then of course our fishing, and we'll talk about the fishing real quick as well once we get this going. we actually kind of caught up with production. So we're now, if you look at the fish lake, we are maxed out on the young trout, and our aquaculture is maxed out. So we're actually not losing 12,000 a day anymore. I think this 7,000 was over like 2 or 3 months because we're full here. So really at this point we could like really stand to use like a double, like a 2 to 4 times one of these, but there's no way to do that. I went and checked and I couldn't see a way to like upgrade it. We'd either have to just buy a new one or like, yeah, we basically have to just buy a new one if we want like a double. So we could buy a new one, sell this one for like half the cost. Something to consider at some point, but I am kind of okay with not touching fish for a while, especially since we are caught up. We don't have to buy so much fish food and basically restock like on a daily basis. So yeah, I just wanted to show that my math was a little off because we did finally catch up. So obviously what was happening is it was just filling up this bar for both of these, which is why we were able to like kind of max out, and now we won't. So, and you can even see it's like stopped this like red. So we'll just kind of leave it. Let's finish this row. Oh, come on. There. Yeah, good enough. Okay. And then our finance is quick. This will not take long since I pretty much just said it. So we stopped in April. You can see sold wood, 275. And you can see our total for that month was 313. Sold products, here's all our fish, basically about 27, 28 a month. And then our contract income, again, did a lot the day we did the wood. I did a couple the next month. Just, what was I doing? I might have just been playing just because I just like to play farming sims. So I think I was watching like the Geek Enders on YouTube, Jesse Cox and Dodgers like podcast / YouTube weekly show. And then, yeah, I just wanted to play farming sim. And then we just kind of skipped ahead to August. Looks like I did one contract last month for some reason. But yeah, that's basically where the money came from, and we are out of debt. So now we have money to play with, which is really, really, really nice. Okay, so that is 2 out of 4 headlands. Let's get 2 more. So we want to go back to going this way. And then make sure we don't lower this until we are over that nice row. Oh, we forgot to lock in. Should be good. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other updates. I think that's it. Oh, one thing we can talk about while we're finishing these is the production. So one real quick note is this windmill. I did find out, well, I didn't find out, I actually just went and looked again. And when you go visit the windmill, there's a sign that says like, basically buy this land to finish the project. I mean, it says it right there. I just didn't read the sign. So you do have to buy 60, which is almost $500,000. In order to, let me lift this and this. Yeah, you have to buy that big old $500,000 piece of land in order to work on the windmill project. So it's quite an investment. When we're ready to do that. I think we will at some point. My plan is to finish both projects. So one's the windmill. The nice thing about the windmill is that it acts as a production chain or a production factory. So you can produce flowers. The problem is, of course, it's $500,000 plus you still have to finish the project, which I looked quick, and the doing a bad job turning. The first, let's try to get a little more. Wait, did I mess this up? I feel... we started over there. Okay, I thought I was already all the way around, and I'm like, wait a minute, there should be another row here. But no, we have one more, like, small stretch. Okay. Yeah, the first deliverable that you have to put into the windmill is, I already forgot, cement blocks or cement? Something to do with cement. So we wouldn't even have, like, the... Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. That's fine. Not a big deal. Yeah, we wouldn't even have, like, the production to even start the windmill, so we'll probably start with the castle. I don't know, we'll figure it out when we get there, but I do really want the flour. But gosh, I cannot believe they make you buy a $500,000 piece of land just to do the project, but we'll figure it out. So that's one note on that. The other note on production, once this saves, is onions. Let me start on this long piece of land, or else I'm going to mess this up. So basically there's a couple things you can do with onions production-wise. One is putting it in, I think it's the vegetable processing plant. We'll look at this here in a bit once I turn around, and then we'll be done with headlands, so then we can get a worker to finish. Wait, why did it? Weird. Okay. There we go. Oh, I think my neighbor is here to pick up some compost, so we're gonna pause, and I will be back in a bit. Okay, and we are back. Yeah, so I saw my neighbor walk across, like walk by my office window. I'm in the basement with her wheelbarrow, so I had a pretty good guess that she was coming to get some compost. So yeah, we've been composting for several years. Shoot, like 5-6 years now. Yet we don't garden or really have a use for it. Like, we don't do anything. We just like to compost because we just, we go through a lot of, scraps, food scraps, vegetable and fruit scraps, waste. And I think it's just kind of magical to take pounds and pounds and pounds of waste and turn it into, like, super rich compost. I think it's a cool thing to do. It's a pretty mindless activity-ish. I mean, you kind of have to rotate and turn, and yeah, there's definitely a little work involved, but I like doing it, and so it's really nice that we've always had neighbors who were big gardeners who, like, love having access to fresh, rich compost. And then of course we have a way to get rid of it in a useful way. And even though we don't actually use it ourselves, this corner is a mess. What a mess. I don't even know if I can deal with that. But anyway, I think we just have one more, right? Because we're on left. So yeah, I think one more here. Of course, it's also food time. So I didn't want it. I was trying to get the... Oh, jeez. I hit the wrong button. I was trying to get this recording done before my cat's food based on last episode. And then, well, again, I'm not sure if you can hear Grouper, but he's doing his post-food meow. Again, really is trying to do that, but the compost thing messed up that schedule. So you may hear the cats again today. I have 3 cats. That's the life I live. That's what I deal with. So anyway, that's my real life composting adventures. I think we have one more. I really lost track of like where we were on the field, and I think we have one more row. So let's get this headland done and then start a worker. So I know we were discussing production, onion production. That's where we were. So let me lock in, lower the boom. Wait, I messed that up. Good enough. Okay. There are two ways to produce onion. Going back. One I think is the vegetable plant. I think there's one available on this map if I find the right menu. Available vegetable processing. Yeah, you can do fried onions, so onions and oil, and then salt and soup. So if we wanted to buy this, we could. And maybe we'll look at the price once we hire a worker. Because those are pretty easy ways to like produce to get like a little more money. The other one that I'll show, because that one there's another one that basically takes them and just packages them up into like like what you'd see like in a store, like a pack of onions, like wrapped with that like orange twiny stuff. I don't know the name of it, obviously. Let's get this worker started. So now the worker should be fine because it'll just go back and forth, which is what we want. And our worker, want to make sure that they don't, in case I missed any headland, I don't want to do that. Make sure we're not skipping. Okay. I also want to make sure they lower both. That's so annoying. Oh no, it is going to do it. Okay, I thought it was just going to do the front. Okay, so we should be good here. We'll let the worker work. Ah, that's so nice. Now, the other production is, and it's pretty cheap too, it's just this little, if we go way down, this thing here, FS25. Yeah, it takes the onion and turns it into like packaged onion. It's pretty small. It's pretty cheap. I mean, we could put it on our like new land here. But that's it. That's all it does. Just pretty simple. Let's go see how much since this is already on the map, I really like when we are able to use buildings that are on the map. Plus this gives us more options if we want to do other vegetables, potatoes. But for now, I mean, even just these two things would be kind of fun to produce. Obviously, we don't have oil. I wanted to see where this was. So we are... Oh yeah, it's quite a ways away, but that's fine. What do we think? Well, let's see how much it is. It might be like $2.5 million. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Holy cow. I thought it was going to maybe be like 150. That's crazy. Never mind. So, I think just because we are on a Fish and Onions playthrough, let's do this guy. I mean, we could... I think we should leave this free. I think we have enough things to contend with. But all this land is ours. Here's a fence. Yeah, let's just put it like here. So we are going to unload here. And then the pallet, we actually probably want it like this way. Because we'll unload. Sorry, I'm thinking too much about this, but I'm just thinking sometimes unloading can be... Let's do it this way. Just gives a little room for like a trailer. And there we go. And now let's just do a little bit of work. Let's get our meadow back. Okay, and then we can actually, what do we want our Like asphalt? Does that look good? Concrete? Oh yeah, concrete looks pretty nice for offloading. There. I think I messed up a little bit. Let's go. This won't take long. I just want to... There we go. All right. So now we have this little operation here. And we can actually probably start picking these up. So this is where we make a big money decision. So there is this picker upper here. It's pretty cheap, $190. So to lease it would be about 10. But this you need a tractor for. And obviously you hook the tractor up. It has a 10,000 liter, whatever. The units of measurements, 10,000 thing hopper. Or if we want to spend a little more money and make it a little easier on us, I'm getting swarmed. Swarmed by felines. A feline swarm. If we go to onion harvesting here under vegetables. Oh, onion planters. Oh, there's just one. Okay. What's this then? Oh, that's just to fill up pallets. Okay. There's this one. And obviously it's like a lot more. The nice thing about this is it's self-driving. The bad thing is we spend a lot more money on it. I think it's worth it. I think since we're kind of flush now, let's do this one. It's really going to just cut down the time considerably. Yeah, it's just going to have more horsepower. We don't need a second tractor to drive it. So we will spend the money to lease this. Just make sure you switch your head when you're doing this. And now Gruber's going to come hit the microphone. Because why not? And just like yesterday, as soon as I'm done recording, guess what they do? They leave. So anyway, I won't talk about my cats. Actually, you know what? I cannot make that promise. I probably will bring up my cats every episode. So yeah, that's where we are with that. All right, so now it's pretty easy. Now we just unfold and use this to pick them up. Luckily, it has a hopper, so we don't have to trail along with the trailer. By the time we have a hopper full, the tractor might be done harvesting. We can turn them into... Oh yeah, we can actually look... I really need to increase the save. Not that I mind it saving during videos, but it does seem to be pretty frequent. Where is production? Owned. And now we have this. The other nice thing about production plants that I haven't utilized enough, but if we go into this, we should be able to rename it. So instead of AS25, yeah, we can actually give it like a real name. Right, like that's much more useful than AS25. All right, our onion packer upper. The rest are actually pretty self-explanatory. But that AS25 means nothing to me, so... Okay, let's start picking up our headlands. So we're going to unfold. Yeah, this thing books. We're going to lower. We can see that lower there. Right there. And then turn her on. And now it's pretty simple. And since we windrowed... I'm not going to say this will be fast, but it's sure going to have the amount of rows we have to pick up, which is pretty sweet. While this is going, I kind of want to look at our onion packer upper. We are going to sell. How much pallet simulator, forklift simulator do we want this to be? Like, that's really the ultimate question nowadays, is like, do we really... I think we should just set up our factories to just self-sustain. Right, if we can set up factories to distribute and sell, even if we take a bit of a hit, I think the game is more fun, and like it literally becomes forklift simulator if you don't. And so I don't think it's worth the extra bit of money. So I think I'm going to be happy to just sell. So we'll put onions in, 100 onions in. We'll get 80 onions out. So like 4/5. I mean, literally, that was easy math, 80% of output. So if we go to prices, sorry, I'm just checking that we're not hitting a fence. So onions is, we'll just go with this month. We'll say 700 average. We'll just go between high and low. 700 for easy math. It's always really scary doing math on the fly, but we can round and be very generous with our estimates here. So 700 for onions. And then I think it's just called onions packed. LMNO, onion soup, onions packed. So average, if we hold on to them, this is one good reason to store. But really it's what, $200 difference? Are we full already? Holy cow. I was not that filled up really fast. Okay. So 80%, 700. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I changed my mind. I think since we're not really going to do onions a lot, let's store. Oh, you have to click it first. Because I feel like we're going to have a lot of packed onions, right? If we get 800 per 1,000, like we already have like basically 8,000 onion, like 7,500, 7,600 packed onions just from this hopper. And we have a whole field. So this like $200 difference per 1,000 could be substantial. Yeah. Okay. What we actually need to do is reset. We need this tractor. So we're going to reset the tractor. If I can find the tool, I want to reset the weight. And then you can see, I just have like fish food ready to go. I decided to just make a big old trailer of it just to save time. But anyway, we need to go get our trailer. We're not going to get to beautifying our home this episode, even though I really want to. We will do that definitely next time, because next time we'll be done. So basically off camera, before next episode, I will finish harvesting. We're not done yet. I do want to offload this into a trailer and take it into production just to kind of finish that chain of events, and then I'll do the rest. Basically, it's just rinse, repeat off camera. And then next time we will beautify our home and make it basically upgrade, make it look nice, put down grass instead of like the dirt forest mess it is now. And we'll figure out what we want to do with all this money, what we want to do with this field. I think maybe we look at getting chickens and sheep or some sort of animal agriculture, which will then push us into like needing a grass field like this one, or maybe we need to do wheat so that we have food for chickens, things like that. But that'll all be next episode. We'll kind of make those decisions and figure out our next steps. But for now, let's get 9,500. I'm so glad I bought this $20,000 POS. You will see in the bottom right, I did spend a couple grand on maintenance. So you can see the maintenance meter is now pretty much full. Yeah, that was just took it into the shop quick and did that. Am I gonna? Yeah, I'll have room. There we go. This is another advantage, by the way, of doing the engine start-stop thing. That setting we changed like early on, automatic engine start. Because when you get out, the engine stays on. If you don't change that, the engine turns off, and then you couldn't do stuff like this because the engine would be off. You'd have to get out, get back in the harvester, etc., etc. So it's a really nice setting. I'm always kind of surprised it's defaulted to off or to on. This setting confuses me. So this setting is on, right? This is so dumb. No, off. Okay. I'm surprised it defaults to on, where the engine turns off. Anyway, let's go unload these, and then we'll call it a day. Alright, we have tip side back. Is there a tip side right? Yes. Let's see if we can just... Actually, no, we want tip side left. And we'll actually maybe... If we can tip side left, we might want to do like a little cement like driveway, actually. That won't take long. Let's do that real quick. Just like a quick one. This we want asphalt, maybe. Yeah, just like a nice little path. Nothing too crazy. Let's do one more. And we can always expand this, maybe do like a big like loop or something, but for now, actually we probably need to expand it, but for now this is good. We don't need to take more time with that. And now start overloading, and we'll see him go up the chute. Unfortunately, you can't actually watch it do anything. This is all like black boxed. So, oh well. And yeah, those will eventually, if we look at our production chain, that was 8,000. Oh, we can store 50, so we'll be good. And eventually, oh wait, I didn't even activate this. That would have been a huge mistake. Yeah, make sure it's glowing brightly if you want to activate it. And that's going to be our episode. So yeah, again, I will sort of just finish this operation before next time, and then next time we're going to make a beautiful home for ourselves. So that's going to be it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you're enjoying seeing the new onion stuff. It's been fun to also kind of dive into it a bit as well. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourselves a very nice day.